Hi guys, I am doing this little vlog for a couple of reasons. A lot of our customers and our friends have asked us so many questions that we normally don't have the opportunity to explain. So I think that this would be a good medium for us to be able to put more information out there about tea, specialty tea, and the differences between specialty tea and commodity tea, differences between loose leaf and tea bag, or even true tea and herbal teas and tisanes. The reason why I am dressed like this, it's also because I tend to be a perfectionist and I tend to avoid doing things if I can't do them exactly like I want to do them. So not having makeup, dressed like I just finished doing yoga, which is something that I don't do that often, unfortunately, that I'm trying to get into a rhythm and get into a routine of doing all the things that I want to do, but somehow I prevent myself from doing. I always find excuses not to do them. Brad has been also very adamant that I need to put myself more out there, so here I am. One of the things that I wanted to talk about would be the differences between tea and tisanes. A lot of people come up to me and they're like, oh, I know that you're doing tea. I love teas. My favorite is chamomile or lavender or peppermint, and I feel really disheartened because I don't want to tell them that that's not a tea, but at the same time there is no information out there, there is no education, so it's so understandable that people don't know how to make that distinction. And I don't want to say that, you know, herbal teas or tisanes are not good. Some of them are really enjoyable and we make them ourselves. We have herbal / tisane blends that I really enjoy. It's just a completely different type of beverage, and the effects that it has on your body is very different. The history, the background, it's all very different. So when I try to explain to people what true tea is, the easiest way is when I make the analogy with wine, in the sense of all tea comes from the one plant called Camellia sinensis. This plant has caffeine, like cocoa bean would have, or like coffee plant would have. So it's inherent in the tea, the caffeine. Also, there's thousands of sub-varieties or different cultivars, different species of this particular tree. So for example, like wine, all wine comes from grapes, but there's different grapes that make Pinot Noir, or, you know, like there's different species or different subspecies of grapes to make specific types of wine, as there is tea. Over 5,000 years of history, tea has been manipulated and has been it's been allowed to evolve. There's different sorry about the as. There's different oh my god, different regions which have indigenous species of this tea plant. So all true tea comes from the Camellia sinensis, and then we have the herbal teas or tisanes, which means without caffeine in French, which are not considered true teas. But they're still very nice and they're still very good. I don't want anyone to feel like, you know, it's not good enough. It's still nice. It's just not what true tea is all about. And once you try teas, and a lot of people do come back to me and say, oh, but I don't deal well with caffeine, or I'm trying to stay away from caffeine. The caffeine in tea is processed in the body in a very different way than coffee is. So don't be alarmed by the amount of caffeine that tea has, because even compared with coffee, it's extremely hard to measure caffeine in tea. But it's would be, I mean, don't tie me down to this, but it would be around a quarter of what the same amount of coffee would be. And of course it depends on the different processing methods, different types of tea, the way that it's brewed, the amount, the temperature of the water. It's just the little, well, how to say this, the little variables that play a part in the amount of caffeine that tea has makes it very difficult to pinpoint the exact amount of different types of tea. But if you don't want caffeine in your teas, up to now, all of the caffeination process were solvent based, so I wouldn't recommend it at all. But there seems to be one that is out there that is okay. I haven't tried it, so I don't want to say that it's totally fine. I prefer drinking teas with caffeine because of the amino acid L-theanine. It processes in the body in a very different way that normally caffeine would. It actually calms you down. It makes you think more pragmatically. It makes you sort of like you are awake and dispersed, but you're also calm. It's one of the reasons why it's been used by monks and by the Zen movement for millennia. So I hope that clarifies a couple of questions about tea. And if you don't like tea and I'm spamming your account, I'm sorry, but it's going to keep happening. So sorry. Enjoy your teas.